In a realm where the moon reigned supreme, casting its silvery glow over the land, there lived a young girl named Emiya. Emiya was known for her gentle spirit and keen intellect, but her heart was heavy with the burden of darkness that loomed over her village. One night, as Emiya gazed up at the moonlit sky, she felt a stirring within her soul. The moon seemed to beckon to her, its light whispering secrets of clarity and insight. Inspired by the celestial dance above, Emiya embarked on a journey to cultivate the same sense of luminous wisdom within herself. As she wandered through the village, Emiya encountered villagers lost in the depths of despair and confusion. Some were ensnared by the tangled webs of fear and doubt, while others struggled beneath the weight of sorrow and grief. Moved by compassion, Emiya reached out to them with words of comfort and guidance, offering a glimmer of hope in their darkest hours. But as the days turned into nights and the darkness seemed to deepen, Emiya found herself grappling with her own inner turmoil. Doubt gnawed at her resolve, threatening to extinguish the light of insight that flickered within her heart. In moments of despair, Emiya turned to the moon for solace, seeking guidance in its serene radiance. And as she gazed upon its luminous face, she realized that clarity and insight were not born from the absence of darkness, but from the willingness to embrace it with an open heart. With renewed determination, Emiya delved into the depths of her own darkness, confronting the shadows that lurked within. She surrendered to the ebb and flow of her emotions, allowing them to wash over her like gentle waves upon the shore. And in the stillness of the moonlit night, Emiya discovered a sense of peace and clarity that transcended the darkness that surrounded her. She realized that true insight was not found in the absence of confusion, but in the willingness to embrace it as an integral part of the human experience. Armed with this newfound wisdom, Emiya returned to her village, her heart ablaze with the light of clarity and insight. With each word she spoke and each gesture she made, she illuminated the path for others to find their own way out of the darkness. And though the night may be long and the shadows may be deep, Emiya knew that as long as the moon shone bright above, there would always be hope for those who dared to seek the light within. In a serene meadow surrounded by towering trees and babbling brooks, there stood a humble grass hut. This simple dwelling was home to a wise old hermit named Koji, who had chosen to live in harmony with nature, finding contentment in the simplicity of his surroundings. Koji's grass hut was not adorned with riches or extravagant furnishings. Instead, it was adorned with the beauty of the natural world, fragrant wildflowers, delicate ferns, and the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze. Every morning, Koji would rise with the sun and greet the day with a heart full of gratitude. He would tend to his garden, nurturing the plants and flowers that surrounded his humble abode, finding joy in the simple act of connecting with the earth. As the seasons changed and the days turned into nights, Koji found solace in the rhythm of nature, embracing each moment with a sense of wonder and awe. He knew that true happiness could not be found in material possessions or worldly desires, but in the harmony of the natural world and the contentment that comes from living in alignment with its cycles. One day, a weary traveler stumbled upon Koji's grass hut, seeking refuge from the chaos of the outside world. Intrigued by the hermit's peaceful demeanor, the traveler asked him the secret to finding contentment in such humble surroundings. Koji smiled warmly and invited the traveler to sit beside him, offering a cup of herbal tea brewed from the plants that grew in his garden. As they sipped their tea in companionable silence, Koji shared with the traveler the wisdom he had gleaned from a lifetime of living in harmony with nature. He spoke of the beauty that could be found in the simplest of things, the song of a bird, the dance of a butterfly, the gentle sway of grass in the wind. He explained that true contentment was not found in the pursuit of wealth or status, but in the ability to appreciate the abundance of the natural world and find joy in its ever-changing tapestry. Moved by Koji's words, the traveler realized that true happiness lay not in the destination, but in the journey itself, in the moments of connection, wonder, and gratitude that filled each passing day. And as they bid farewell to the grass hut and continued on their respective paths, they carried with them the timeless wisdom of living in harmony with nature and finding contentment in the simplicity of life. In a tranquil village nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering forests, there lived a young boy named Kato. Kato had always been drawn to the melodies of nature, and his heart sang in harmony with the rustling leaves and babbling brooks that surrounded him. One day, while exploring the depths of the forest, Kato stumbled upon a hidden grove where bamboo grew tall and proud. Entranced by the gentle swaying of the bamboo in the breeze, he felt a deep sense of peace wash over him. As he wandered through the grove, Kato noticed a lone bamboo flute lying abandoned amidst the greenery. Intrigued, he picked up the flute and gently blew into it, sending forth a hauntingly beautiful melody that seemed to echo through the trees. From that moment on, the bamboo flute became Kato's constant companion. With each breath he drew, he poured his heart and soul into its hollow depths, creating melodies that spoke of joy and sorrow, love and longing. As the seasons changed and the years passed, Kato's music became renowned throughout the village and beyond. People would gather from far and wide to listen to the enchanting melodies that flowed from his flute, their hearts uplifted by its soul-stirring harmonies. But amidst the adoration and acclaim, Kato remained humble and grounded, attuned to the natural rhythms of life that surrounded him. He knew that true harmony could only be found in the simplicity of the present moment, where the song of the wind and the dance of the leaves were his greatest teachers. One evening, as Kato sat beneath the stars, his flute cradled in his hands, he felt a sense of gratitude wash over him. In that moment of quiet reflection, he realized that the true beauty of life lay not in the grand gestures or the fleeting moments of fame, but in the simple act of being present and attuned to the ever-changing symphony of existence. And so, with a heart full of love and gratitude, Kato continued to play his bamboo flute, allowing its melodies to weave a tapestry of harmony and simplicity that touched the hearts of all who listened. For in the music of the flute, he found not only his own voice, but the voice of the forest, the voice of the earth, and the voice of the universe itself. Once upon a time, nestled among the rolling hills and whispering forests, there stood a range of majestic mountains known as the Mountains of Silence. Legend had it that atop the highest peak, there dwelled a wise Zen master who had attained enlightenment through the profound wisdom inherent in the wordless transmission of Zen. Many seekers journeyed to the base of the mountains in search of the master's guidance, drawn by tales of his profound teachings and the transformative power of his silent presence. One day, a young monk named Tai set out on a pilgrimage to the Mountains of Silence, his heart ablaze with a longing for truth and understanding. For days, he traversed the rugged terrain, overcoming obstacles and challenges with unwavering determination. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of climbing, Tai reached the summit of the highest peak, where he found the Zen master seated in silent meditation, his eyes closed and his breath steady. For days, Tai sat at the master's feet, waiting in eager anticipation for the moment when the master would impart his wisdom. But no words were spoken, no teachings offered. Instead, the master sat in profound silence, his presence like a mountain solid, unwavering, and deeply rooted in the earth. At first, Tai grew restless, his mind filled with doubts and questions. But as the days passed and he surrendered to the stillness of the mountains, he began to understand that the true essence of Zen could not be found in words or concepts, but in the wordless transmission of presence and awareness. With each passing moment, Tai felt himself drawn deeper into the silence of the mountains, his mind becoming still and clear like the tranquil surface of a mountain lake. He realized that in the absence of words, there was a profound wisdom to be found, a wisdom that transcended the limitations of language and thought. And in that moment of realization, Tai understood that enlightenment was not something to be sought after or attained, but a state of being that existed within each and every moment. It was the silence between the words, the space between the thoughts, the profound wisdom inherent in the wordless transmission of Zen. From that day forth, Tai carried with him the teachings of the Mountains of Silence, knowing that true wisdom could only be found in the stillness of the present moment, where the mountains whispered their timeless secrets to all who were willing to listen. Once upon a time, in a serene village nestled among emerald hills and babbling brooks, there lived three brothers named Tai, Shin, and Ronan. Each brother possessed a unique gift bestowed upon them by the wise elders of the village. Tai, the eldest brother, was known for his strength and agility. His body moved with grace and precision, embodying the harmony of the physical form. Shin, the middle brother, had a silver tongue that wove tales like delicate threads, captivating the hearts of all who listened. And Ronan, the youngest brother, possessed a keen mind that delved into the depths of knowledge, seeking truth in the mysteries of the universe. One day, a wandering monk arrived in the village, seeking shelter for the night. Intrigued by the monk's presence, the brothers gathered around him, eager to learn from his wisdom. The monk spoke of the three phases of Zen: body, speech, and mind, and how they were intertwined in the practice of enlightenment. He explained that true harmony could only be achieved when these three aspects were in balance, working together as one. Inspired by the monk's words, the brothers set out on a journey to master the three phases of Zen. Tai ventured into the mountains, where he trained his body through rigorous exercises and martial arts, honing his strength and agility to perfection. Shin traveled far and wide, sharing his tales with people from all walks of life. With each story he told, he infused his words with wisdom and compassion, touching the hearts of those who listened. Meanwhile, Ronan secluded himself in the village library, poring over ancient texts and scrolls in search of knowledge that would unlock the secrets of the mind. He meditated for hours on end, delving into the depths of his consciousness in pursuit of enlightenment. Years passed, and the brothers returned to the village, each a master in his own right. Tai's body was a temple of strength and resilience, his movements fluid and effortless. Shin's words had the power to heal and inspire, weaving tales that echoed through the ages. And Ronan's mind was a beacon of clarity and wisdom, illuminating the path to enlightenment for all who sought it. Together, the brothers embodied the three phases of Zen: body, speech, and mind in perfect harmony. And as they walked the path of enlightenment side by side, they realized that true mastery lay not in the perfection of one aspect, but in the interconnectedness of them all. In a land where the sun painted the sky with hues of gold, and the earth whispered secrets of transformation, there burned a mighty fire at the heart of a bustling village. This fire, fueled by the dreams and desires of the people, blazed with an intensity that lit up the night sky and warmed the souls of all who gathered around it. But as the flames danced and flickered, they consumed everything in their path, leaving behind only smoldering ashes in their wake. The villagers watched in awe as the fire transformed wood into embers, and embers into ashes, marveling at the cycle of destruction and creation that unfolded before their eyes. One day, a wise elder named Emiya approached the fire with a heavy heart, her eyes filled with sorrow for all that had been lost in its flames. As she gazed upon the smoldering ashes, she felt a sense of sadness wash over her, a longing for the past and a fear of what the future might hold. But then, with a gentle smile, Emiya realized the transformative power of letting go and allowing new beginnings to emerge. She understood that just as the fire had consumed the old to make way for the new, so too could she release the burdens of the past and embrace the possibilities of the present. With a sense of determination, Emiya knelt beside the ashes and began to gather them in her hands, feeling their warmth and texture beneath her fingers. And as she held the ashes close to her heart, she whispered a silent prayer for renewal and transformation, knowing that from the ashes of the old, new life would eventually emerge. From that day forth, Emiya approached life with a newfound sense of hope and resilience, knowing that every ending carried within it the seeds of a new beginning. And as she journeyed through the village, her heart filled with gratitude for the fire and the ashes, for teaching her the most valuable lesson of all, that in letting go and allowing new beginnings to emerge, one could find true liberation and joy. In a serene valley nestled between towering mountains and meandering streams, there resided a young girl named Emiya. Emiya was known throughout the valley for her gentle spirit and compassionate heart, always ready to lend a helping hand to those in need. One day, as Emiya wandered through the valley, she stumbled upon a hidden cave nestled amidst the rocks. Curious, she ventured inside and called out into the darkness, "Hello, is anyone there?" To her surprise, Emiya heard her own voice echoed back to her, as if the cave itself were responding to her call. Intrigued by this phenomenon, Emiya called out again, and once more, her voice echoed back to her, reverberating through the cavernous depths of the cave. As Emiya listened to the echoes bouncing off the walls of the cave, she couldn't help but wonder about the interconnectedness of cause and effect and the unfolding of karma, the law of cause and effect that governs the universe. With a sense of curiosity and wonder, Emiya began to contemplate the actions and intentions that had led her to this moment, the kindness she had shown to others, the compassion she had extended to those in need. And as she reflected on the echoes reverberating through the cave, she realized that every action, every word, every thought had its own echo ripple effect that extended far beyond the confines of the present moment. With this realization, Emiya understood the profound interconnectedness of cause and effect in the unfolding of karma. She saw how every act of kindness, every gesture of compassion, created a ripple effect that touched the lives of others in ways she could never have imagined. From that day forth, Emiya approached life with a renewed sense of mindfulness and awareness, knowing that her actions had the power to shape the world around her in profound and meaningful ways. And as she journeyed through the valley, her heart filled with gratitude for the echoes in the cave, for teaching her the most valuable lesson of all, that in recognizing the interconnectedness of cause and effect, one could live a life of purpose and meaning, guided by the principles of compassion and kindness. In a peaceful village nestled amid mist-covered mountains, there resided a renowned sage named Master Chen. Master Chen was revered far and wide for his deep understanding of Zen teachings and his ability to reveal profound truths through simple means. One day, a curious traveler named Emiya sought an audience with Master Chen, eager to learn the secrets of Zen. Emiya arrived at the sage's humble abode, where Master Chen welcomed her with a warm smile and a serene demeanor. "Master Chen," Emiya began, her voice filled with reverence, "I have heard tales of the mirror of Zen. Please, teach me its meaning." Master Chen nodded thoughtfully, his eyes reflecting the wisdom of ages. "The mirror of Zen," he explained, "is a metaphor for the true nature of reality, the reflection of the interconnectedness of all things and the illusion of separateness." Intrigued, Emiya listened intently as Master Chen continued. "Just as a mirror reflects whatever is before it without judgment or distortion, so too does reality reflect the interconnectedness of all phenomena," he said. "But like a mirror, our perception of reality can be clouded by the illusion of separateness, the mistaken belief that we are distinct and isolated entities." With a wave of his hand, Master Chen gestured towards a polished mirror resting on a nearby table. "Look into the mirror," he instructed Emiya, "and tell me what you see." Emiya gazed into the mirror, expecting to see her own reflection staring back at her. But to her surprise, she saw not only herself but also the reflection of the room, the trees outside, and even Master Chen himself. "Master," Emiya exclaimed, "I see not only myself but also the world around me reflected in the mirror." "How can this be?" Master Chen smiled knowingly, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. "The mirror shows us that everything is interconnected," he explained. "Just as the mirror reflects all that is before it, so too does reality reflect the interconnectedness of all beings and phenomena. There is no separation between self and other, no distinction between inner and outer." Emiya nodded in understanding, her heart filled with a sense of awe and wonder. "But Master Chen," she asked, "how can we overcome the illusion of separateness and see reality as it truly is?" Master Chen's smile deepened, his gaze penetrating to the core of May's being. "Through the practice of mindfulness and awareness," he replied, "we can cultivate a clear perception of reality and see through the illusion of separateness. By recognizing the interconnectedness of all things, we can awaken to the true nature of existence and find peace and harmony in the midst of life's ever-changing flow." With these words ringing in her ears, Emiya bowed respectfully to Master Chen, knowing that she had received a priceless gift, the wisdom of the mirror of Zen. From that day forth, she approached life with a newfound sense of clarity and insight, knowing that in recognizing the interconnectedness of all things, she could find true peace and fulfillment. And as she journeyed through the world, her heart brimming with gratitude, she whispered a silent thank you to Master Chen for revealing to her the profound truth hidden within the mirror of Zen. In a tranquil village nestled amidst emerald green hills, there lived a young monk named Kai, whose heart burned with a fervent desire to unlock the mysteries of Zen teachings. Day and night, Kai pored over ancient scrolls and meditated beneath the shade of towering trees, hoping to grasp the elusive truths that lay beyond the veil of illusion. One day, while wandering through the forest in search of enlightenment, Kai stumbled upon a stone carved with intricate symbols and cryptic inscriptions. Intrigued by the stone's enigmatic appearance, he took it upon himself to decipher its meaning, convinced that within its ancient markings lay the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. For days on end, Kai devoted himself to the study of the stone, his mind filled with questions and his heart ablaze with determination. But no matter how hard he tried, the meaning of the stone remained as elusive as a wisp of smoke, slipping through his fingers like sand in an hourglass. Frustrated and disheartened, Kai sought the guidance of his wise old master, a venerable monk known for his profound understanding of Zen teachings. With a serene smile, the master listened as Kai poured out his troubles, his eyes twinkling with quiet amusement. "Ah, my dear Kai," the master said, his voice as gentle as a summer breeze. "It seems you have been looking for answers in all the wrong places." Confused, Kai looked at the master, his brow furrowed in disbelief. "But master," he protested, "I have studied the stone with all my heart and mind. How can I find the answers if not in its inscriptions?" The master chuckled softly, his laughter like the tinkling of wind chimes in the distance. "The stone itself holds no answers, my dear Kai," he explained. "Its purpose is not to be deciphered, but to teach you a lesson in the art of openness and receptivity." With a wave of his hand, the master gestured towards the forest around them, where sunlight filtered through the canopy, dappling the forest floor with golden hues. "Look around you, Kai," he said, his voice filled with warmth and wisdom. "The true teachings of Zen are not found in words or symbols, but in the vibrant tapestry of life itself." As Kai gazed upon the beauty of the forest, a sense of wonder filled his heart, and he realized that true understanding could not be forced or grasped, it could only be received with an open mind and a receptive heart. And in that moment of clarity, the stone ceased to hold any power over him, for he had found the true meaning of Zen teachings in the boundless expanse of the world around him. From that day forth, Kai approached his studies with a newfound sense of humility and openness, knowing that the path to enlightenment lay not in the pursuit of knowledge, but in the embrace of the ever-unfolding mystery of life itself. And as he wandered through the forest, his heart brimming with gratitude, he whispered a silent prayer of thanks to the stone that had taught him the most important lesson of all. In a land where the mountains kissed the sky and the rivers sang melodies of ancient wisdom, there lived a young traveler named Kai. Restless and yearning for meaning, Kai embarked on a journey in search of the great way, the path of awakening and the realization of one's true nature. Through valleys and forests, across deserts and plains, Kai wandered, seeking guidance from sages and scholars, mystics and monks. Each offered their own interpretation of the Great Way, but none could satisfy the longing in Kai's heart. One day, as Kai stood atop a windswept peak, gazing out at the vast expanse of the world below, he encountered a wise old sage named Master Li. With a serene smile, Master Li welcomed Kai and asked him what he sought. "I seek the Great Way," Kai replied, his voice filled with longing, "but I do not know where to find it." Master Li nodded knowingly, his eyes reflecting the depth of his understanding. "The Great Way is not a path to be found, but a journey to be lived," he explained. "It is the path of awakening to the truth of your own nature, the realization that you are not separate from the world around you, but an integral part of it." Intrigued, Kai listened intently as Master Li continued. The great way is found not in the distant horizon, but in the here and now, he said. It is the practice of mindfulness and awareness, the cultivation of compassion and wisdom, the embracing of life in all its joy and sorrow. With these words ringing in his ears, Kai felt a sense of clarity and purpose wash over him like a gentle rain. But how do I walk the great way? He asked, his heart filled with anticipation. Master Li smiled warmly at Kai, his eyes sparkling with kindness. You walk the great way with each step you take, each breath you breathe, he replied. You walk it with an open heart and a humble spirit, trusting in the wisdom of the universe to guide you on your journey. From that day forth, Kai walked the great way with courage and conviction, knowing that the path to awakening lay not in the destination, but in the journey itself. And as he journeyed through the world, his heart filled with gratitude and wonder, he whispered a silent thank you to Master Li for showing him the way to his true nature, the great way of awakening. In a tranquil valley nestled between towering mountains, there flowed a river of purest clarity, known to all as the River of Zen. Its waters shimmered like liquid silver in the light of the moon, whispering ancient secrets to those who dared to listen. Along the banks of the river lived a young girl named Emei, whose heart was as wild and free as the waters that flowed before her. From dawn till dusk, Emei would sit beside the river, watching as the currents danced and swirled with effortless grace. One day, as Emei gazed into the depths of the river, she saw a reflection of herself staring back at her, a vision of beauty and serenity that filled her heart with wonder. But as she reached out to touch the image, it vanished like mist in the morning sun, leaving Emei feeling perplexed and unsettled. Determined to understand the nature of her experience, Emei sought the guidance of a wise old sage who dwelled in a humble cottage by the riverbank. With a gentle smile, the sage welcomed Emei into his home and listened as she poured out her heart. Tell me, wise one, Emei implored, her eyes brimming with curiosity. What is the meaning of the river's reflection, and why does it vanish before my eyes? The sage nodded knowingly, his gaze fixed upon the flowing waters outside. The River of Zen is like the river of life itself, he explained. Ever-changing and ceaselessly flowing, it mirrors the fleeting nature of existence and the impermanence of all phenomena. Emei listened intently as the sage continued. The reflection you see is but a momentary glimpse of your true self, a reflection of the divine spark that resides within you. But like the river itself, it is in constant flux, changing with each passing moment and eluding grasp. But why does it vanish when I try to hold on to it? Emei asked, her brow furrowed with confusion. The sage smiled gently. Because, my dear, the essence of Zen lies not in clinging to the past or grasping for the future, but in embracing the ever-present flow of the present moment. Like the river, we must learn to let go of our attachments and allow life to unfold naturally, trusting in the wisdom of the currents to guide us on our journey. With these words of wisdom echoing in her heart, Emei returned to the riverbank with a newfound understanding. As she watched the waters flow before her, she felt a sense of peace and acceptance wash over her like a gentle breeze. And though the reflection of herself in the river continued to elude her grasp, Emei found solace in the knowledge that true beauty lies not in the static image, but in the dynamic flow of experience itself, a timeless dance of light and shadow, joy and sorrow, ebbing and flowing like the eternal river of Zen. In the heart of a bustling city, there lived a skilled thief named Kato. Under the cover of night, Kato would slip through the shadows, his nimble fingers plucking valuables from unsuspecting victims. Though his pockets were often lined with stolen riches, Kato felt a sense of emptiness gnawing at his soul. One moonlit night, as Kato prowled the darkened streets in search of his next mark, he noticed a figure standing beneath a towering oak tree. It was an elderly man, his face weathered and wise, gazing up at the full moon with a look of serene contentment. Intrigued, Kato approached the old man cautiously, his footsteps silent against the cobblestone pavement. "What brings you out here on such a late night, old-timer?" he asked, his voice tinged with curiosity. The old man turned to face Kato, his eyes twinkling with warmth. "I come here every night to admire the beauty of the moon," he replied, his voice soft but strong. "For you see, the moon is a reminder of our interconnectedness, a symbol of the shared humanity that binds us all together." Cato scoffed at the old man's words, dismissing them as the ramblings of a senile mind. "What nonsense," he muttered under his breath. "The only thing that matters in this world is what you can take for yourself." But as Cato turned to leave, a sudden gust of wind rustled through the leaves of the oak tree, causing the branches to sway and dance in the moonlight. Mesmerized by the beauty of the moment, Cato felt a stirring deep within his heart. For the first time in his life, he saw the world through new eyes, not as a playground for thievery and deceit, but as a tapestry of interconnected lines, each one woven together by the threads of shared experience and compassion. Filled with a newfound sense of purpose, Cato vowed to turn his life around and seek redemption for his past misdeeds. He returned the stolen treasures to their rightful owners, asking for forgiveness and offering to make amends in any way he could. And though the road to redemption was long and arduous, Cato walked it with courage and determination, guided by the wisdom of the old man and the gentle light of the moon above. In the end, Cato learned that true wealth could not be found in material possessions or ill-gotten gains, but in the connections we forge with one another and the love we share with the world around us. And as he looked up at the moon each night, he was reminded of the beauty of interconnectedness and the boundless potential that lies within each and every one of us. In a kingdom where honor and tradition were held in high regard, there lived a samurai named Takeshi and a tea master named Hiroshi. Takeshi was esteemed for his skill with the sword, his courage on the battlefield, and his unwavering loyalty to his lord. Hiroshi, on the other hand, was revered for his mastery of the ancient art of tea ceremony, his deep understanding of nature, and his ability to find beauty in the simplest of things. Despite their different stations in life, Takeshi and Hiroshi shared a deep mutual respect and friendship that transcended social hierarchies. They often met in the tranquil garden behind Hiroshi's tea house, where they would share stories, sip tea, and contemplate the mysteries of the universe. One day, as Takeshi sat beneath the shade of a cherry blossom tree, he shared with Hiroshi his concerns about the rigid social structure that governed their kingdom. He spoke of the inequalities that existed between the noble samurai and the common folk, lamenting the injustice that prevented many from realizing their full potential. Hiroshi listened thoughtfully to Takeshi's words, his eyes twinkling with wisdom. He reached for a delicate teacup and began to pour the steaming liquid into it, the fragrant aroma filling the air. "Takeshi-san," Hiroshi said, his voice soft but firm, "the true essence of wisdom lies not in the titles we hold or the roles we play, but in the way we conduct ourselves in every moment." Takeshi furrowed his brow in confusion. "But how can one find wisdom in a world so bound by social conventions and expectations?" he asked. Hiroshi smiled gently as he handed Takeshi the teacup. "Consider this," he said. "The tea leaves and the water may come from different sources, but when they are combined, they create something greater than the sum of their parts. In the same way, our differences do not diminish our worth but enhance our collective wisdom." As Takeshi sipped the tea, he felt a sense of clarity wash over him. He realized that true wisdom did not discriminate based on rank or status, but flowed freely to all who were open to receiving it. From that day forward, Takeshi and Hiroshi continued to meet in the garden, their conversations a testament to the enduring power of friendship and the equality of all beings. And though their paths diverged in the eyes of society, their bond remained unbreakable, a shining example of the wisdom that transcends social hierarchies. In a quaint village nestled between rugged mountains and whispering forests, there lived a humble stonecutter named Taro. Day in and day out, Taro toiled beneath the blazing sun, chiseling away at rough stones to create beautiful sculptures for the villagers to admire. Despite his simple life, Taro harbored a secret longing deep within his heart. He yearned for power and status, believing that only then would he be truly happy and fulfilled. Daydreams of wealth and influence filled his mind as he worked, distracting him from the beauty of the present moment. One hot summer's day, as Taro hammered away at a stubborn piece of rock, he heard the distant sound of trumpets and drums. Curious, he followed the noise until he came upon a magnificent procession winding its way through the village streets. At its head rode the king himself, surrounded by a retinue of courtiers and soldiers, their colorful robes billowing in the breeze. Envious of the king's power and prestige, Taro whispered a fervent wish to the heavens above. "Oh, how I wish I were as mighty as the king himself," he exclaimed, his voice tinged with longing. To his astonishment, his wish was granted in an instant. In the blink of an eye, Taro found himself transformed into a powerful ruler, seated upon a magnificent throne adorned with jewels and gold. His heart swelled with pride as he surveyed his kingdom, the once distant dream of power now a reality. But as the days passed, Taro soon discovered that being a king was not as glorious as he had imagined. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily upon his shoulders, and the endless demands of his subjects left him feeling exhausted and overwhelmed. No matter how much power he wielded, Taro could not escape the feeling of emptiness that gnawed at his soul. Desperate to reclaim his former life, Taro whispered another wish to the heavens above. "Oh, how I wish to be a stonecutter once more," he pleaded, his voice filled with regret. Once again, his wish was granted, and Taro found himself back in his humble workshop, the sound of hammer on stone echoing through the air. But this time, something had changed within him. As he chiseled away at the rough rock, Taro felt a newfound sense of contentment wash over him. He realized that true happiness could not be found in power or status, but in the simple joys of everyday life. From that day forward, Taro embraced his true nature as a stonecutter with renewed vigor and gratitude. He no longer yearned for the trappings of wealth and influence, knowing that the greatest treasure of all lay within his own heart. And though he may have been just a simple stonecutter in the eyes of the world, Taro knew that he was richer and more powerful than any king could ever be, for he had found peace and acceptance of his true self. Once upon a time, in a serene village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there lived a young girl named Impied. Impied possessed a heart as pure as the crystal-clear streams that wound through her village. She had a special bond with nature and found solace in the simple beauty of the world around her. One crisp autumn day, as Impied wandered through the fields, she noticed a flock of wild geese soaring gracefully across the sky. Their honking calls echoed through the air, filling May's heart with wonder. She watched in awe as they danced among the clouds, their wings outstretched like delicate brushstrokes against the canvas of the heavens. Captivated by their beauty, Impied followed the geese as they journeyed across the horizon. With each flap of their wings, she felt a sense of freedom wash over her, as if she too were flying alongside them. But as the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a golden glow upon the landscape, Impied realized that she had strayed far from her village. Panic gripped her heart as she searched for familiar landmarks amidst the gathering darkness. The once familiar fields now seemed like an endless maze, and Impied felt lost and alone in the vast expanse of the countryside. Tears welled up in her eyes as she longed for the safety and comfort of home. Just as despair threatened to consume her, Impied heard a gentle rustling in the bushes nearby. Peering through the foliage, she saw the wise old sage of the forest, a venerable tortoise named Master Kame. His ancient eyes twinkled with wisdom as he regarded Impied with kindness. "Why do you weep, young one?" Master Kame asked in his gentle, gravelly voice. "I am lost," Impied replied, her voice trembling with emotion. "I followed the wild geese, and now I cannot find my way home." Master Kame nodded sagely, his wrinkled face creased in a knowing smile. "Ah, the wild geese," he mused. "They are indeed a sight to behold. But like all things in this world, they are fleeting and ephemeral." Impied looked at the wise old tortoise in confusion. "What do you mean?" she asked. "Life is like the flight of the wild geese," Master Kame explained. "Beautiful and wondrous, yet ever-changing and unpredictable. To cling to the past or yearn for the future is to miss the beauty of the present moment." As Emiya listened to Master Kame's words, she felt a sense of clarity wash over her. She realized that her attachment to the geese had led her astray, causing her to lose sight of the beauty that surrounded her in the here and now. With a newfound sense of resolve, she wiped away her tears and took a deep breath. "Thank you, Master Kame," Emiya said, her voice filled with gratitude. "I understand now. I will cherish each moment as it comes and embrace the beauty of the present." With a gentle nod, Master Kame watched as Emiya turned and began to make her way back to the village. As she walked, she took in the sights and sounds of the forest with renewed appreciation, knowing that each step brought her closer to home. And though the wild geese continued their journey across the sky, Emiya no longer felt the need to follow them. For she had learned the most precious lesson of all, that true beauty lies not in the distant horizon, but in the beating heart of the present moment. In a tranquil village surrounded by misty mountains and winding rivers, there lived a young monk named Koji. Koji was known throughout the land for his deep wisdom and compassionate heart. He spent his days in quiet meditation, seeking to understand the true nature of reality. One evening, as Koji sat by the riverbank, gazing at the reflection of the moon shimmering in the water, he was struck by a profound realization. He saw how the moon appeared to float effortlessly upon the surface of the river, its image dancing and rippling with the gentle currents. In that moment, Koji understood the concept of emptiness, the idea that all phenomena are inherently empty of inherent existence, like the reflection of the moon in the water. He realized that just as the moon's reflection was transient and ever-changing, so too were the thoughts and perceptions that colored his understanding of the world. Filled with a sense of wonder, Koji sought to share his newfound wisdom with others. He journeyed to nearby villages and temples, teaching the way of emptiness and encouraging others to see beyond the illusion of reality. But despite his best efforts, Koji found that many struggled to grasp the concept of emptiness. They clung tightly to their beliefs and perceptions, unable to see the world as it truly was. And deterred, Koji returned to his monastery and continued his practice with renewed determination. He spent hours in silent contemplation, seeking to deepen his understanding of emptiness and the interplay between reality and perception. One night, as Koji sat in meditation beneath the canopy of stars, he experienced a moment of profound clarity. He saw how his own mind was like the surface of the river, constantly in motion, reflecting the ever-changing landscape of thoughts and emotions. In that moment, Koji understood that true wisdom lay not in clinging to perceptions or chasing after illusions, but in embracing the emptiness at the heart of all things. He realized that by letting go of attachment and embracing the impermanence of existence, one could find true freedom and peace. Filled with a sense of gratitude, Koji returned to the riverbank where his journey had begun. As he gazed once more at the reflection of the moon in the water, he smiled, knowing that he had found his truest teacher, the ever-changing, ever-flowing river of life. And in that moment, Koji knew that he had discovered the secret to lasting happiness and fulfillment. In a tranquil village nestled beside a winding river, there lived a young girl named Emiya. Emiya was known for her adventurous spirit and insatiable curiosity, but she often found herself yearning for something beyond the familiar shores of her home. One day, as Emiya wandered along the riverbank, she came upon a weathered old bridge spanning the rushing waters. Intrigued by what lay on the other side, she hesitated for a moment, her heart pounding with excitement and apprehension. With a deep breath, Emiya took the first step onto the creaking wooden planks, feeling the bridge sway beneath her feet. As she ventured further, the roar of the river grew louder, and the mist from the cascading waters kissed her cheeks. With each step, Emiya felt the thrill of the unknown course through her veins, mingling with a sense of trepidation. Yet, she pressed on, driven by a longing to discover what lay beyond the horizon. Suddenly, halfway across the bridge, May's foot slipped on a wet plank, sending her tumbling towards the swirling waters below. With a gasp, she reached out, grasping desperately for something to hold onto. Just as Emiya feared she would be swept away by the current, a strong hand reached out from the other side of the bridge, pulling her to safety. It was a wise old traveler who had witnessed May's daring adventure and come to her aid. "Brave one," the traveler said, his voice filled with admiration. "You have shown great courage in crossing the river of uncertainty. But remember, the path of awakening is not without its risks and challenges. Yet, it is only by embracing the unknown that we can truly discover the depths of our own potential." With gratitude in her heart, Emiya thanked the traveler and continued on her journey, her spirit emboldened by the experience. And as she ventured further into the unknown, she carried with her the wisdom of the river crossing, a reminder that true awakening requires the willingness to take risks and embrace the mysteries that lie beyond. In a bustling kingdom where gold-lined streets sparkled under the sun, there lived a humble woodcutter named Koji. Koji was content with his simple life, finding joy in the beauty of the forest and the warmth of his family's hearth. One day, the king of the realm summoned Koji to his palace, curious about the woodcutter's unwavering happiness amidst the opulence of the kingdom. "Tell me, Koji," the king inquired, "what is the secret to your prosperity?" Koji smiled warmly and replied, "Your Majesty, true prosperity lies not in the accumulation of wealth or possessions, but in the richness of the heart and the contentment of the soul." Intrigued by Koji's words, the king invited him to share his wisdom with the people of the kingdom. And so, Koji embarked on a journey, traveling from village to village, spreading the message of real prosperity. In each village, Koji met people from all walks of life, farmers toiling in the fields, artisans crafting their wares, and merchants peddling their goods. Yet, despite their differences, they all shared a common longing for happiness and fulfillment. With gentle guidance, Koji encouraged the villagers to look within, to discover the true source of prosperity that dwelled in the depths of their own hearts. He taught them to cultivate gratitude for the simple joys of life, the laughter of loved ones, the beauty of nature, and the gift of each new day. Slowly but surely, the villagers began to embrace Koji's message, finding solace in the understanding that true prosperity could not be measured by the size of their fortunes, but by the depth of their gratitude and the richness of their relationships. And as they let go of their attachment to material possessions and embraced the abundance of the present moment, they discovered a newfound sense of peace and contentment that filled their lives with true prosperity, a prosperity that no amount of gold or jewels could ever surpass. And so, in the kingdom where gold-lined streets sparkled under the sun, the people came to understand that the greatest treasure of all was not found in the pursuit of wealth, but in the cultivation of inner wealth and contentment, the true measure of real prosperity. In a peaceful village nestled between emerald hills and murmuring streams, there lived a young seeker named Kira. Kira was known for her insatiable thirst for spiritual knowledge, but she often found herself clinging to the teachings of her mentors as if they were solid ground in a shifting sea. One day, as Kira meditated beneath the shade of a towering oak tree, she heard a soft voice whisper in her ear, "The raft is not the shore, dear one." Confused by the cryptic message, Kira sought guidance from her wise elder, Master Ru. "Master," she asked, "what does it mean that the raft is not the shore?" Master Ru smiled knowingly and gestured for Kira to join him by the tranquil pond at the edge of the village. "There," he explained, "the teachings we receive are like rafts that carry us across the vast ocean of ignorance and suffering. But just as a raft is not the shore, these teachings are not the ultimate truth. They are merely tools to guide us on our journey." With each passing day, Kira reflected on Master Yu's words, striving to deepen her understanding of the impermanence of spiritual teachings and the need to go beyond concepts to realize truth. She delved into the ancient texts, studied under wise sages, and practiced meditation with unwavering dedication. Yet, despite her efforts, Kira found herself clinging to the raft of knowledge with ever-increasing desperation, fearing to let go and surrender to the vast unknown. One night, as she sat in meditation beneath the starlit sky, Kira experienced a moment of profound clarity. She realized that true wisdom could not be found in the words of others, but in the silence of her own heart, in the direct experience of reality beyond concepts and beliefs. With a sense of liberation washing over her, Kira let go of her attachment to the raft of knowledge and allowed herself to be carried by the currents of the present moment. And as she surrendered to the ebb and flow of life, she discovered a boundless ocean of peace and freedom that lay beyond the limitations of the mind. From that day forth, Kira walked the path of awakening with a lightness of being, knowing that while the raft of teachings may guide her on her journey, the true shore of enlightenment could only be found in the depths of her own innermost being. In a bustling village nestled between emerald hills and winding rivers, there lived a young boy named Koji, with eyes full of wonder and a heart open to the world. Koji wandered the streets each day, eager to explore the hidden treasures that lay hidden amidst the chaos of everyday life. One rainy afternoon, as Koji trudged through the muddy streets, he stumbled upon a sight that took his breath away: a sparkling diamond nestled amidst the muck and mud. With a sense of disbelief, Koji reached down and plucked the diamond from its muddy bed, marveling at its radiant brilliance. Intrigued by the unexpected discovery, Koji sought the guidance of the village elder, a wise old woman named Obasan. With a twinkle in her eye, Obasan shared a tale of finding a diamond on a muddy road and the wisdom that lay hidden in unexpected places. In a distant land, Obasan began, there lived a traveler named Akira. One day, as Akira journeyed along a muddy road, he stumbled upon a sparkling diamond lying amidst the muck and mud. Astonished by his discovery, Akira realized that wisdom could be found in the most unexpected of places. As Koji listened to Obasan's words, a sense of awe washed over him. He realized that, like Akira, he too had found a precious gem amidst the chaos of the muddy streets, a gem that reminded him of the boundless potential that lay hidden within every moment of life. With newfound clarity, Koji embraced the wisdom of the tale, knowing that true treasure could be found not only in precious stones, but in the simple moments of everyday life. And as he continued to explore the world around him, he did so with a heart full of gratitude, knowing that the greatest treasures were often found in the most unexpected of places. In a serene village nestled at the foot of misty mountains, there lived a young woman named Shinkai. Despite her gentle nature, Shinkai carried a heavy burden of sorrow within her heart. Years ago, Shinkai had been wronged by a neighbor, who spread false rumors that tarnished her reputation and caused her great pain. Though time passed and wounds healed, the memory of betrayal lingered, casting a shadow over Shinkai's spirit. One day, as Shinkai sat by the tranquil pond that mirrored the azure sky above, she encountered a wandering monk named Hoshi. Hoshi, with eyes that sparkled with wisdom and compassion, saw the weight of Shinkai's sorrow and approached her with kindness. "Tell me your story, dear Shinkai," Hoshi said, his voice gentle like a summer breeze. "Let me share in your burden." Reluctantly, Shinkai recounted the tale of her betrayal, her voice trembling with pain and bitterness. But instead of judgment or condemnation, Hoshi listened with a heart full of empathy and understanding. "Dear Shinkai," Hoshi said softly, "holding on to anger and resentment only prolongs your suffering. True liberation comes from forgiveness and compassion." At first, Shinkai bristled at Hoshi's words, unable to fathom how she could forgive the one who had caused her so much pain. But as she sat in silence, gazing into the depths of the pond, she felt a stirring within her soul, the glimmer of hope and healing. With Hoshi's guidance, Shinkai embarked on a journey of forgiveness and compassion, slowly unraveling the knots of resentment that had bound her heart for so long. She practiced meditation and reflection, cultivating a sense of empathy and understanding for the one who had wronged her. And as she released the shackles of anger and bitterness, Shinkai felt the weight lift from her shoulders, replaced by a profound sense of peace and liberation. No longer did she define herself by the wounds of the past. Instead, she embraced each moment with an open heart, knowing that true freedom lay in the power of forgiveness and compassion. Word of Shinkai's transformation spread throughout the village, inspiring others to seek healing and forgiveness in their own lives. And though the scars of the past remained, they served as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, compassion and forgiveness have the power to illuminate the path to healing and wholeness. In a coastal village perched upon rugged cliffs, there lived a young fisherman named Kai. Kai spent his days casting his nets into the vast ocean, hoping for a bountiful catch to provide for his family and his village. One day, as Kai ventured out to sea, he encountered a storm of unprecedented ferocity. Towering waves crashed against his small boat, threatening to swallow him whole. Despite his best efforts to navigate the tempest, Kai found himself tossed about like a leaf in the wind. For hours, Kai battled the relentless fury of the sea, his strength waning with each passing moment. Just when he felt that all hope was lost, a voice whispered in his ear, a voice as ancient and timeless as the ocean itself. "Be like the waves, Kai," the voice murmured. "Accept the ebb and flow of life, and you will find the strength to endure." Inspired by the words of wisdom, Kai closed his eyes and surrendered to the rhythm of the sea. With each crest and trough, he breathed deeply, finding solace in the knowledge that he was part of something greater, a vast and boundless ocean that stretched to the horizon and beyond. And as the storm began to subside and the waves grew calm once more, Kai emerged from the tumult a changed man. Though battered and bruised, he felt a newfound sense of resilience and acceptance, the deep knowing that no matter what challenges life may bring, he would weather them with grace and courage. Returning to the village, Kai shared his tale of survival with his fellow fishermen, inspiring them to embrace the wisdom of the great waves. And from that day forth, whenever the storms of life threatened to overwhelm them, they would look to the sea and remember Kai's lesson that in the face of life's inevitable challenges, resilience and acceptance were the keys to enduring strength. Once upon a time, in a tranquil village nestled amidst swaying bamboo groves and trickling streams, there lived a young monk named Hiro, with a heart full of wonder and a spirit eager for wisdom. Hiro dedicated himself to the study of Zen teachings. One clear evening, as Hiro sat beneath the gentle glow of the moon, he was visited by his wise old teacher, Master Koji. With a serene smile, Master Koji shared a tale of impermanence and the ever-changing nature of reality. In a distant land, Master Koji began, there lived a young monk named Toshi. Night after night, Toshi would gaze up at the moon, its radiant light filling him with a sense of peace and wonder. But as the days turned into weeks, Toshi began to notice something strange. The reflection of the moon in the pond had disappeared. Intrigued, Hiro listened intently as Master Koji continued the tale, his heart stirred by the monk's quest for understanding. Determined to find the cause of the missing reflection, Toshi embarked on a journey to the nearby mountains. There, he met a wise old sage who spoke of the impermanent nature of reality. "No water, no moon," the sage said, "for without the water to reflect it, the moon cannot be seen." With these words echoing in his mind, Toshi returned to the monastery with a newfound understanding. No longer did he cling to the fleeting beauty of the moon or the reflection in the pond, but rather embraced the ever-changing nature of existence with an open heart and mind. As the seasons changed and the moon waxed and waned, Toshi continued his practice with unwavering dedication, his heart open to the wisdom of the sage's words. And one clear night, as he sat beneath the starlit sky, a sense of peace washed over him, a recognition that true beauty could only be found in the acceptance of change. With a smile of understanding, Master Koji turned to Hiro and said, "Just like Toshi, you too must learn to embrace the impermanent nature of reality. For in the ever-changing dance of existence lies the true essence of life." And as Hiro gazed up at the luminous glow of the moon, he did so with a newfound appreciation for the fleeting beauty of each moment, knowing that in the impermanence of life lay the key to true peace and understanding. In a tranquil monastery nestled amidst misty mountains and ancient forests, there lived a young monk named Zenji. With a heart full of curiosity and a mind eager for wisdom, Zenji devoted himself wholeheartedly to the study of Zen teachings. One day, as Zenji sat in meditation beneath the shade of a towering oak, he was visited by his wise old master, Sensei Hoshi. With a knowing smile, Sensei Hoshi presented Zenji with a cone or riddle designed to challenge conventional thinking and inspire direct insight. The sound of one hand clapping, Sensei Hoshi began, is said to be the key to understanding the nature of reality. Meditate upon this cone, and let it guide you on the path to enlightenment. Intrigued by the enigmatic riddle, Zenji closed his eyes and pondered its meaning. For days and nights, he sat in silent contemplation, his mind reaching out to grasp the elusive truth hidden within the words. But no matter how hard he tried, Zenji found himself unable to solve the cone. Frustration gnawed at his heart, and doubt crept into his mind. Was he not wise enough? Was he not worthy of enlightenment? With a heavy heart, Zenji approached Sensei Hoshi and confessed his struggles. "I cannot solve the cone," he admitted, his voice filled with despair. Sensei Hoshi smiled gently and placed a hand on Zenji's shoulder. "The sound of one hand clapping," he said, "is not something to be solved with the mind, but to be experienced with the heart." With these words, Zenji's eyes widened in realization. In that moment, he understood that the answer to the cone was not found in intellectual analysis, but in direct insight, a deep understanding that transcended words and concepts. From that day forward, Zenji approached his practice with a newfound sense of clarity and openness, knowing that true wisdom could only be found in the depths of his own being. And though the sound of one hand clapping remained a mystery, he embraced it as a reminder of the boundless potential that lay within each moment of existence. In a peaceful village nestled amidst rolling hills and shimmering lakes, there lived a young girl named Emilia. With eyes as bright as the full moon and a heart full of wonder, Emilia spent her days exploring the natural beauty that surrounded her. One evening, as Emilia wandered along the shore of the lake, she was approached by a wise old sage named Master Wu. With a gentle smile, Master Wu beckoned Emilia to sit beside him and listen to a tale of the moon and its ineffable nature. In a distant land, Master Wu began, there lived a young monk named Liang. From the moment he first beheld the radiant glow of the full moon, Liang was filled with a deep longing to possess its beauty and brilliance. Night after night, he would gaze up at the sky, his heart consumed by the desire to capture the moon and make it his own. Emilia listened intently as Master Wu continued the tale, her heart stirred by the monk's quest for the unattainable. One night, as Liang sat beneath the shimmering light of the moon, he was visited by a wise old sage who spoke of the futility of his desires. "The moon cannot be stolen," the sage said, "for its beauty lies not in possession, but in its ineffable nature." With these words echoing in his mind, Liang returned to his monastery with a newfound understanding. No longer did he seek to possess the moon, but rather to bask in its luminous glow and appreciate its beauty from afar. As the seasons changed and the moon waxed and waned, Liang continued his practice with unwavering dedication, his heart open to the wisdom of the sage's words. And one night, as he stood beneath the starry sky, a sense of peace washed over him, a recognition that truth, like the moon, could never be possessed, but only experienced in its fleeting brilliance. With a smile of understanding, Master Wu turned to Emilia and said, "Just like Liang, you too must learn to appreciate the beauty of truth without seeking to possess it. For like the moon in the sky, truth is ever present and ineffable, waiting to be discovered in the quiet moments of contemplation." And as Emilia gazed up at the luminous glow of the moon, she did so with a newfound appreciation for the ephemeral nature of truth, knowing that its brilliance could never be possessed, but only experienced in the quiet depths of the heart. Once upon a time, in a tranquil village nestled amidst towering mountains and whispering forests, there lived a wise old farmer named Kato. Despite the hardships that often beset his land, Kato approached each day with a heart full of acceptance and equanimity. One day, as Kato tended to his crops beneath the warmth of the sun, he was approached by a traveler named Akira. With a furrowed brow, Akira recounted the misfortunes that had befallen him on his journey: a lost coin purse, a broken wagon wheel, and a sudden downpour that soaked him to the bone. "Is that so?" Kato replied with a serene smile, his voice calm and steady. Confused by Kato's response, Akira pressed on, recounting each of his troubles in vivid detail. But no matter how dire the circumstances, Kato's response remained the same: "Is that so?" Frustrated by the farmer's apparent indifference, Akira demanded an explanation. "How can you remain so calm in the face of such adversity?" he asked. With a gentle chuckle, Kato gestured toward the fields around them, where the crops swayed in the breeze and the birds sang in the treetops. "Life is like the seasons," he explained, "filled with moments of joy and moments of sorrow. But just as the sun rises and sets, so too must we accept the ebb and flow of life with equanimity." With these words, Akira's heart softened, and he began to see the wisdom in Kato's teachings. From that day forward, he approached life's challenges with a newfound sense of acceptance and grace, knowing that true peace could be found in the quiet depths of the heart. And though the trials of life continued to test him, Akira faced each one with unwavering equanimity, guided by the timeless wisdom of the wise old farmer and the simple phrase that had changed his perspective forever: "Is that so?" In a kingdom where roses bloomed in abundance, there grew a special rose bush known for its enchanting fragrance that filled the air with a sweet, intoxicating scent. Legend whispered that this rose bush held within it the essence of purity and beauty, untouched by the worries and troubles of the world. Amidst the bustling gardens of the kingdom, there lived a young girl named Emei, known for her kind heart and gentle spirit. One day, as she wandered through the gardens, she stumbled upon the fragrant rose bush, its delicate petals bathed in the golden light of the sun. Drawn by its captivating aroma, Emei approached the rose bush with wonder, her heart filled with a sense of peace she had never known before. In that moment, she felt as though she had been transported to a realm untouched by the cares and concerns of the world, where only love and beauty reigned supreme. As Emei gazed upon the rose bush, she realized that its fragrance was not just a scent, but a reflection of the purity and beauty that dwelled within her own heart. Inspired by the rose's timeless grace, she vowed to cultivate her own inner beauty, and touched by the trials and tribulations of the world. From that day on, Emei carried the fragrance of the rose within her soul, a constant reminder of the purity and beauty that lay within each and every one of us. And as she journeyed through life, she shared the fragrance of her awakened heart with all who crossed her path, spreading love and beauty wherever she went. In a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and murmuring streams, there stood a majestic gate leading to a mysterious forest. This gate was guarded by a wise old gatekeeper named Master Law. He was known far and wide for his deep understanding of the human heart and his ability to guide travelers on the path of self-discovery. One day, a curious young villager named Emei approached the gate with a longing in her heart to uncover the secrets of life. She stood before Master Law, who gazed at her with eyes that seemed to penetrate into her very soul. "Why do you seek entry into the forest, young one?" Master Law inquired, his voice gentle yet filled with wisdom. "I wish to find answers," Emei replied, her voice trembling with anticipation. "Answers to questions that have lingered in my mind for so long." Master Law nodded knowingly and handed her a staff made of polished wood. "Take this staff," he said, "and venture into the heart of the forest. There you will find the answers you seek." With the staff in hand, Emei stepped through the gate and into the depths of the forest. She walked along winding paths, beneath towering trees whose branches whispered ancient secrets in the breeze. As she journeyed deeper, she encountered obstacles and challenges that tested her resolve. At one point, Emei came across a rushing river blocking her path. She looked around, searching for a way to cross, but found none. Remembering the words of Master Law, she grasped the staff tightly and closed her eyes in deep concentration. In that moment of stillness, Emei felt a sense of calm wash over her. With newfound clarity, she opened her eyes and saw a series of stepping stones appearing in the river before her. With each step, she felt a deeper connection to the world around her. Further into the forest, Emiya encountered a fearsome beast blocking her way. Instead of running in fear, she stood her ground, holding the staff aloft with unwavering determination. To her surprise, the beast bowed its head in submission and allowed her to pass. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity of challenges and revelations, Emiya reached a tranquil clearing at the heart of the forest. There, bathed in golden sunlight, she found the answers she had been seeking all along. With tears of gratitude streaming down her cheeks, Emiya returned to the village and stood once more before Master Law, the staff held reverently in her hands. "I have found the answers I sought," she said, her voice filled with awe and wonder. But it was not the forest that held the key. It was within me all along. Master Law smiled knowingly and nodded. "Indeed, young one," he replied. "The journey into the forest was merely a reflection of the journey into your own heart. The staff you hold is not just a tool, but a symbol of the power of self-inquiry and the direct exploration of your true nature." And from that day forth, Emiya shared her newfound wisdom with the villagers, guiding them on their own journeys of self-discovery. And though the gatekeeper's staff remained in her hands, its true power lay in the hearts of those who dared to seek the truth within themselves. In a tranquil village nestled amidst misty mountains and winding rivers, there lived a humble farmer named Dao. Though his days were filled with toil and hardship, Dao approached each task with a sense of contentment and grace. One evening, as Dao tended to his fields beneath the starlit sky, he was visited by a wise old monk named Master Li. With a twinkle in his eye, Master Li shared a tale of enlightenment, a tale of a simple farmer much like Dao himself. In a distant land, Master Li began, there lived a farmer named Wei. Day in and day out, Wei tended to his crops with diligence and care, his hands weathered by the sun and soil. Though he lived a life of simplicity, Wei harbored a deep longing for enlightenment, believing it to be a distant goal beyond his reach. Dao listened intently as Master Li continued the tale, his heart stirred by the farmer's quest for truth and understanding. One day, as Wei toiled in his fields, he was visited by a traveling monk who spoke of the path to enlightenment. "Seek not outside yourself," the monk said, "for the seeds of enlightenment are already sown within your heart." With these words echoing in his mind, Wei returned to his fields with a newfound sense of purpose. No longer did he see enlightenment as a distant goal, but as a seed waiting to be nurtured within his own being. As the seasons changed and the crops ripened, Wei continued his work with unwavering dedication, his heart open to the wisdom of the world around him. And one day, as he stood amidst the golden fields at dawn, a sense of peace washed over him, a recognition that enlightenment was not something to be sought, but something to be realized within the depths of his own being. With a smile of understanding, Master Li turned to Dao and said, "Just like Wei, you too carry the seeds of enlightenment within you. It is not something distant or unattainable, but already inherent within your very being." And as Dao returned to his work in the fields, he did so with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that the path to enlightenment lay not in some distant realm, but in the simple moments of everyday life. In a land where the waters ran clear and the sun kissed the earth with warmth, there bloomed a pond adorned with the most exquisite lotus blossoms. Among these delicate flowers lived a young maiden named Lin, whose spirit radiated purity and resilience like the petals of the lotus. Lin had faced hardships from a young age, yet her heart remained untainted by bitterness or despair. Instead, she embraced each challenge as an opportunity for growth and transformation, much like the lotus rising above the murky waters in pursuit of the sun's rays. One day, a great drought descended upon the land, leaving the pond parched and the lotus blossoms withered and wilted. Despite the despair that gripped the hearts of the villagers, Lin remained steadfast in her belief that beauty could still emerge from the depths of adversity. With unwavering determination, Lin set out to revive the pond and restore the lotus blossoms to their former glory. Day and night, she toiled tirelessly, digging channels to redirect what little water remained and nurturing the soil with tender care. As weeks turned into months, the villagers marveled at Lin's resilience and dedication, inspired by her unwavering faith in the face of hardship. And though the task seemed insurmountable at times, Lin remained undeterred, her heart filled with the hope of seeing the lotus blossoms bloom once more. And then, one fateful morning, as the first rays of dawn kissed the horizon, Lin beheld a sight that brought tears of joy to her eyes. For amidst the parched earth and cracked mud, tiny green shoots had begun to emerge, reaching towards the sky with the same determination that burned within Lin's heart. With each passing day, the shoots grew taller and stronger, until at last, the pond was once again adorned with the vibrant hues of the lotus blossoms. Their petals unfurled like delicate wings, their beauty a testament to the purity and resilience that lay within the awakened mind. And as Lin stood amidst the blossoms, her heart overflowing with gratitude, she realized that like the lotus, she too had emerged from the depths of adversity, stronger and more beautiful than ever before. For in the darkest moments of despair, it was her unwavering faith and resilience that had allowed her to blossom amidst the storm, her spirit as pure and resilient as the lotus that graced the waters of the pond.